What is the matter with you? What are you trying to do? You could have killed me. Yanking me off my horse like that?
I don't know what those men were to you, but it's a hanging party if I ever saw one. What took you so long? I've been waiting for over 6 hours.
Well, after I sold you to that man, I got myself involved in a little poker game.
And you lost all our money?
No, as a matter of fact, I won over $500.
You mean you got the $1,000 you sold me for, plus an extra $500 you won?
Well, no, not exactly. Money's in the saddlebags.
And the food you were supposed to buy?
In the saddlebags.
We better get down from this tree. They'll be back looking for us.
Have any trouble getting away?
I don't even want to talk about it. I've hated the whole idea right from the beginning.
Yeah, I suppose it's understandable you should feel bitter about slavery, but...
Quince, this whole idea of slavery never even came into my life until I met you.
Yeah.
And let you talk me into the insane idea of you selling me and both of us running away with the money. Now, I was born in New Jersey, of free parents.
I know.
I am an educated man.
Oh, that's what makes you so desirable as a slave. Let's cut across the fields here and stay off the road.
Hey, Quince, you know that man you sold me to in the last town?
Oh, I didn't like that man. I didn't like him at all. He's the one that put the posse on. They'd have killed me if I'd let him.
Well, let me tell you something else about him. He's not going to be just satisfied with getting his money back. He's going to have wanted posters out on us, and he'd probably be after us himself.
I wouldn't put it past him. Oh, these new boots are killing me.
You bought new boots?
Well, you know how I needed them. Besides, I bought you a new pair, too, only...
They're in the saddlebag. This whole thing just is not working out.
What whole thing?
Our partnership. When we decided to team up, you said we'd be a great success because I had the black skin, you had the brains. Well, I know I got the black skin. I'm just waiting for some indication that you've got the brains.
Let's rest a while, huh? You know, I think I put on your new boots by mistake as mine are in the saddlebags. I don't think it's healthy for a man with your position in life to be that good with a gun.
A man with my position in life, with you as a friend, you better be good at something. Quince, why don't we get ourselves a couple of jobs in the next town? At least till things get straightened out.
You're just saying that because you're starving.
No, you're saying that because I'm tired of starving.
Well, whatever the reason, it's a shameful thing to say. I'll think of something. It's no time to stop trusting me.
Well, I've never trusted you, Quince. I've always liked you, and I've never trusted you. Forget I said it.
I just hope I can. Hey! Well, our luck is bound to change.
Last time you said that, it did. We ended up on a chain gang.
That was all the fault of that beautiful, lonely girl. There was a lot of good in that woman. I wish she'd gotten around to showing me some of it.
What are you kicking about? You had all the fun, and half the money she made off with was mine.
Oh, it was worth it. Taught me a lesson about women.
It was not worth it. Didn't teach me a thing about women I didn't already know.
Hold it! Turn around. Drop your gun belt.
Before I do, can you give me one good reason why I shouldn't walk over there and take that rifle away from you?
Because I'd shoot both your ears off before you'd taken 2 steps.
That's a good reason.
Is this a holdup, lady?
This is an arrest.
For what?
For holding up a train last week, murdering 3 passengers and making off with $20,000.
Do we look like people with $20,000? Search us.
I'm not interested in what you did with the money. You two fit the description perfectly. Male Caucasian, about 35, 6 foot 190 pounds. Male Negro, same age, 6 foot 485 pounds. Criminal types with a furtive look. Now that suits you right down to your run-down heels.
Well, there's only one thing, miss.
What's that?
We didn't do it.
Huh! In that case, it'll just break my heart to see you hang. Might even ruin my supper. Murdering 3 people for $20,000.
Think we should have gotten more?
I like a man who can joke on his way to the gallows. You pick up that gun belt and throw it over my saddle. Do it slowly here, or I'll shoot your fingers off right down to your knuckles.
I think it's only fair to warn you. I could never fall in love with a girl who talks like an Amarillo house detective.
Back! We're all blessed a hole in you big enough to drive a stagecoach through.
And I could never fall in love with a girl who's trying to sweet-talk me all the time, either.
You're going to get along just fine with the man who does our hanging for us. He gets bigger and bigger laughs with every man he hangs. You start downstream. Make a break for it and you die.
One-track mind, that girl.
Move!
We're gonna let her take us in without a fight?
Does that answer your question?
Who you got there, Fruity?
Outlaws? The worst kind. Inside.
You really wouldn't want to see 2 innocent men hung, would you, miss?
Better not seen anybody hung at all. Get in there.
Who we got here?
Oh, I'm nobody, Father. Except the 2 most wanted outlaws in this part of the country.
What are they wanted for?
That train robbery last week, you get out your description of the men. You'll see these 2 fit perfectly.
I don't think I'll bother until you take a look in that cell over there.
What are they doing in here?
I thought for the train robbery. They fit the description perfectly. In fact, I was very happy with them until you walked in with these 2.
Well, it's simple. It could be either couple.
There's one little difference between them. My 2 had the money from the holdup on them, and they confessed.
Well, which doesn't mean my 2 aren't wanted for something. Come on, let's get your wanted list here.
No, I think instead I'll apologize to these 2 gentlemen. I'm sorry, boys. I always wanted a daughter, but this is what I got. Give them their guns back, Fruity.
I didn't bring them in all the way just to let them go.
Fruity, give them their guns. Then get out of here, find yourself a man. Have a whole batch of children, and keep your nose out of my business. Now!
Even a child could recognize a couple of criminal types like them. Look at those sloping foreheads, the close-set eyes. No!
Believe me, Sheriff, we never did anything to that girl.
You don't have to explain to me. She's crazy. She always was, and she always will be. Everybody in this town knows it. You 2 can go now.
You wouldn't like to keep us under arrest until after supper, would you, Sheriff?
No, we've already done enough to you. Enjoy the town and let me know if you need anything.
Yes. Oh, Sheriff.
Yeah.
That daughter of yours.
What about her?
Well, granted, she is a little eccentric.
No, she isn't. She's crazy. I told you that.
Yes, well, she's also very attractive.
Attractive? Rattlesnakes are attractive, not prudy.
And just the same, sir, I'd like your permission to call on her while I'm in town.
Why in the world would you want to do that?
Well, naturally, I wouldn't think of it without your permission.
Well, what do you need with my permission? I haven't had any control over her since she was 6 years old.
Then it's all right?
Sure, call on her. Do anything you want to her. Just don't come crawling back here later asking for my protection.
Thank you, Sheriff. Jason?
I'd like to pretend I didn't hear what I just heard in
I
there.
know what you think.
No, you don't. If you did, you'd be scared.
Jason, do we know anybody in this town?
How could we?
Exactly. Now, we need to get together a little scheme to help us get out of this little financial bind we're in. And at the right time, we're going to have to know just the right people to help us make this little scheme work. And what better person to introduce us around this town than the sheriff's daughter?
There was a time when I would have bought that story.
You don't think a man as hungry as I am is going to get interested in anybody romantically, do you?
I think you could be down to eating your guns, and you'd still be interested.
Well, same old story. You simply don't understand this business we're in.
What business are we in?
Yeah, I'll discuss it later when you calm down a little. Oh, hey, steady there.
Now, you shouldn't have done that.
Then what?
Nobody pushes me.
Well, somebody pushed you the way you came out of that saloon.
Go for your gun.
I will not. I'm not going to get mixed up in one of those stupid things.
You better go for it, because I'm going for mine.
Now, wait a minute. I don't even know you.
Go for it!
Draw, Quince.
Say, you're the fastest thing I ever did see. I didn't even see your hand move. I want to thank you for not killing me, although I would have understood perfectly well if you had. I needed a drink.
I didn't know I could shoot that good.
You can. Let's get out of here.
Now I am going to have to arrest you, too.
What for?
Gunfighting in the streets. We can't have a gunfight without somebody being arrested.
Well, I didn't start it, Sheriff. The other guy did.
I know, but he got away.
Oh, well, he's right there in the saloon, right?
I know, but he also happens to be one of our most prominent ranchers, while you ain't nothing but two itinerant, vagrant bums!
Who says so?
You got any money?
What does money have to do with it, Sheriff?
If you ain't got any, you ain't nothing but two itinerant, vagrant bums! I'll take that Derringer. I ain't never seen anyone hit anything with one of these before. I'll take that gun, too. Let's go to jail.
What are the formal charges against the sheriff?
Shooting a concealed weapon from an exposed position at a prominent drunk.
I was pretty sure it'd be something like that. Hello, brother. We've got to get out of here. If they keep us locked up in here, those wanted posters on us are going to come out. And what's worse, that last guy you sold me to is going to show up looking for us.
Man, you got any ideas?
You're supposed to be the one with the brains.
Right now. I'd settle for something to eat. Oh, that's bad. Sheriff,
Yeah?
do the prisoners in this place ever get fed?
Well, we ain't nothing like them fancy eastern jails, but yeah, we feed our prisoners occasionally, along with the livestock. Shut up!
Black guy can't take a punch.
All right, that's enough. While you two are waiting to be hung, I'll expect you to conduct yourselves like gentlemen.
I heard the shots. What is it, a jailbreak?
What do? Hang around outside there? It's spooky.
Who'd you shoot, huh?
Look, Prudy, as long as you're here, you can be of some help. I gotta take them two over to the judge so he can pronounce sentence. You stay here and guard the other two. Don't provoke her, boys. She'd like nothing better than an excuse to blow both your heads off. I mean, she'd really enjoy it. The way other girls like to make fudge. Out. Hold it, boys. Now, Prudy, your only job is, if the place catches on fire, let the prisoners out. That's all! All right, boys.
Well, now. Behind bars, you two look a little more natural. Sloping foreheads. Close-set eyes.
Lady, why do you hate us? We were just sitting and talking and minding our own business.
Everybody's innocent until proven guilty.
Not in my book.
And I thought you were quite taken with me.
What?
Well, there were a couple of times when you were bringing us in, I noticed a glint in your eyes that could only have been insanity or love. And thus encouraged, I even asked your father permission to call on you while I was in town.
What?
I heard him, lady, and I didn't believe it any more than you did.
You know what I'd have done if you turned up at my front door?
Blown his head off.
At least. Scroungy two-bit outlaw. You thought I was taken with you?
I've known girls with even stranger tastes.
I can vouch for that.
Now, supposing you had called on me, what had been your purpose?
Oh, picnic in the woods, a little hand-holding on a warm summer's night.
I don't have time for that kind of stuff. Anyway, you're not even going to be alive come summer.
Thought you'd romance her, huh? Maybe she'd let us out.
Well, worth trying.
Nobody said nothing about a girl.
Fire up, Jagger.
I'm trying.
We're going to bust you out.
All right.
We got horses for you in back.
Oh, good. I'm afraid you might have forgotten that.
You know the boss. You don't forget nothing.
Boss?
Quit fooling around. Fire up.
We don't know what we're getting into.
No, but we know what we're getting out of.
Let's get out of here.
All right, you go ahead. I'll be right there. I wouldn't have had this happen for anything in the world, Fruity. Especially knowing how you feel about me. I didn't know girls talk like that. Well, I've got to go now. You give my regards to your father and tell him no hard feelings.
Which way? Who cares? Let's go.
Hey, I forgot my gun.
Never mind. Hey!
There ain't nobody coming after us.
Well, that don't make no sense. A couple important outlaws like you guys, train robbers, murderers.
Nobody seems to care we busted you out.
It is kind of humiliating not to have anybody after us.
Well, that's the kind of humiliation I can live with.
You know, the boss is real mad at you guys.
Why?
Well, when you didn't show up, you thought maybe you decided to turn him in.
Turn him in.
For the reward.
The $1,500 he's got on his head.
Oh, that.
He thought you might cross him, try and collect it.
We wouldn't do a dumb thing like that.
Well, you stopped off and robbed a train and got caught, and that's dumb. Boss had that nice bank job all lined up, just waiting for you two to get here.
Well, I'm just glad he didn't get somebody else.
Oh, not the boss. He knows you guys are the best dynamite men in the business, and he only goes first class. But all them people you massacred.
Well, I told him not to, but once he gets started, there's no stopping him. I think it's some kind of character defect.
Well, the boss would rather not have too much killing on this job. Oh, he don't mind. But sometimes it just complicates things.
I'll hold him down to a decent limit.
We going the right way?
I just came out of that, the #1 killer in the West.
Maybe it's not such a bad idea to have him think that.
Well, how long will they think it? The minute we ride into camp and he finds out that they've got the wrong men, we're going to be dead 5 minutes later. Now, we have got to get out of here right now.
What the man said.
What?
Boss has got $1,500 on his head.
Do you mean play along with them with whatever they're up to, then step in the last minute, turn them over to the authorities, and collect the reward?
Mm-mm.
You know, I'm just crazy enough to think that that's a good idea.
You're crazy enough, all right.
The life we lead, in and out of jail, in and out of trouble, on the verge of being killed all of the time.
Yeah, well, when you put it that way, doesn't sound too bad, does it?
Let's go!
Right.
Any trouble? Not a bit, boss.
Sheriff wasn't even there, just some girl.
We gagged her and tied her up, no problem.
Oh, you had one little problem.
What's that, boss?
You got the wrong men.
The wrong men? Well, how can that be, boss?
They was the only ones in the jail.
A white guy and a colored guy.
They're the wrong men.
Now, sir, I know this must look a little suspicious.
A little suspicious.
Sir, you know, when you're sitting in jail with no hope of getting out and 2 men come in and say they're going to bust you out, you just don't ask any questions.
Looked like the hand of Providence.
And we haven't seen a whole lot of that hand lately.
Who are you two? Well, what are you in jail for?
Every crime in the book.
Murder, robbery, wanton pillage.
What happened to my 2 guys?
The sheriff had taken him out.
That's what the sheriff's daughter was doing there.
The girl they tied up was the sheriff's daughter? You knew that part of the plan to rob the bank was to kidnap the sheriff's daughter first.
Well, sure, but
And you had her all tied up.
We didn't know that's who she was.
we thought she was just some girl who dropped in.
What am I running with? Me with $1,500 on my head. You bring in the wrong men. You leave the sheriff's daughter behind. How much did you tell him about the bank job?
Well, naturally, we filled him in on all the details.
Naturally.
What are we going to do with him, boss?
Well, thanks to you 2 knotheads, we'll probably have to kill him.
Sir, while you're making up your mind, do you think that we could have a little something to eat?
Why should I feed somebody who's going to be dead anyway? Go ahead. Ain't nothing but beans. Knotheads.
Quince,
Yeah.
I think the boss really intends to kill us.
You just leave that little detail to me.
Death is a little detail.
Jason, he's not going to kill anybody.
Boys, I'm going to have to kill you. My reputation is on the line with this job. I just can't afford to trust you.
I don't blame you. I don't believe in trusting anybody unless you absolutely have to. I figure you absolutely have to.
I do?
Yeah, you need 2 more experienced men to pull off this job, and you're sure not going to get those other guys out now.
You boys experienced in bank jobs?
Have you ever been to Texas?
No.
Oh, well, if you had been, you'd have heard about a bank job in Las Cruces. We tunneled from a mortuary into the main vault and made off with $10,000. And then there was a cattleman's bank in El Paso. Remember them? Yeah. Well, we didn't do anything much fancy. They just walked in, gunned down a few, and walked off with the payroll of the Swinging Bar Ranch. Then we turned up in Amarillo. Of course, there's a couple of little bank jobs in between, but in Amarillo, Jason and I slept on the roof of the bank all night. Next morning, he blew a hole in the roof, and we dropped down through just as they was opening the safe for the day's business. And things got a little sticky there, but luckily Jason doesn't have any conscience when it comes to shooting his way through a wall of human flesh.
You done all them jobs?
Proud to say we did.
Then how come you're so broke now?
Who says we're broke?
I seen the way you went through them crummy beans. What happened to your money?
Gambling, women, not necessarily in that order.
He don't say much, does he?
Oh, Jason's pretty modest when it comes to talking about the things we've done. And it's not easy to be modest when you're one of the best powder men in the business.
You can handle explosives?
Why not?
Something fishy about you two. I can feel it right here. Of course, it could be the beans. How much of a cut would you want?
Oh, usual split, 50% for us and 50% for you 3.
The way it's going to be is 50% for me, and the 4 of you can split up the rest.
Oh, well, now, I hardly think we could go for anything like that.
Come on now, Quince. It's his job. He planned it and thought it up.
And it's understood. I run the whole show.
Well, I don't know. A couple of men with our reputation in the bank robbery field.
And he handles the gunpowder. That stuff scares me to death.
Well, he'll handle it all right. When the time comes, you just hand him the stuff and stand back. All right. Talk me into it.
I still say there's something funny about you boys. Well, anyway, I got a little job for you tonight. We'll see how you handle that.
A job? Tonight you got a job?
Yeah. Thanks to them 2 there, we still got to kidnap the sheriff's daughter.
Oh, no. That's a little part of the plan that I'm not too clear on, boss.
That's the brilliant part of it. In case anything goes wrong, then we still got her as a hostage to bargain our way out with.
Maybe you don't understand. You see, I don't think the sheriff would care very much if we kidnapped his daughter.
He's her father, ain't he?
Yeah, but they got a kind of funny relationship.
What Jason is trying to say is that...
Now, look. One of the reasons I've been such a success all my life is because once I make up a plan, I'll always stick to it. Now, you 2 go into town and get that girl. I'll send Ed with you.
Oh, we can handle it ourselves.
I'll send Ed with you.
Hi, Ed, how you doing? He'll send Ed with us. You sure this is the house?
This is the house. Remember, I get orders to watch you 2 every second.
Watch us do what, Ed?
Just don't try anything.
Rudy, for once in your life, don't go off half-cocked.
You know my father's asleep in the next room?
I suspected as much. That's why I want to talk to you out here on the porch.
Huh. You just wait till I get my shotgun, and I'll talk to you anywhere you want to.
Aren't you even curious as to why a wanted man would brave an entire hostile town just to come and see his girl?
His girl.
All right. A girl. Aren't you a little curious?
My father swore he'll get you, even if he has to track you down to your grave.
Prudy, that sounds more like you than him.
One scream from me and they'll put you away for life.
I knew what the risks were. I gladly accepted them. Come on out here just for 1 minute. You'll be glad you did.
Well, what's so important, huh?
This is going to shake her faith in me.
You got her.
Naturally.
That's what we went into town for.
Couldn't you at least let her get dressed?
Well, we could have waited until tomorrow morning and got her a whole new outfit, but we're in kind of a hurry.
My advice to you, whoever you are, is you better let me go before the whole countryside descends on you.
Don't she know the kind of trouble she's in? Talking to me like that? Me that cuts pretty throats like yours just to while away the time?
I was hoping I'd seen my last mass hanging.
She has kind of a fixation about hanging.
She better not put any ideas in my head.
Let me talk to her alone. I'll try to make her see a little sense.
Well, get across to her. I'd just as soon cut her throat as I would my own mother's.
You sure have a way of laying it on the line, boss. Sit right here. Now, I can imagine how all this must look, Miss Prudy. But things are not always the way they seem. Those three men over there, not Jason and not me, but those other three, they're bank robbers, Prudy. Criminals of the lowest, most vicious type. They're going to rob the bank in your town. Now, when Jason and I heard about that, we were shocked. We certainly didn't want any part of a low deed like that. But after talking it over, we decided that the best way to foil this whole thing was to pretend to go along with them. To pretend that we were bank robbers ourselves. And then at the last minute, we step in and capture those three and hand them over to your father. And, of course, collect the reward. Now, you're probably wondering what you're doing here. Am I right? Well, it's part of the boss's plan to capture you and hold you as hostage in case anything goes wrong at the bank. Now, the minute I heard about that, I was going to walk right out. But Jason argued, and sensibly, I think, that this was a perfect opportunity to prove our loyalty and throw them off guard. Because, after all, the most important thing is to keep the bank from being robbed and capture those desperate outlaws. Now, that makes sense, doesn't it? Of course, it doesn't make sense. It's the most insane words I've ever heard come out of a man's mouth, but it happens to be the truth, Prudy. And certainly you, as an intelligent girl, can recognize the truth when you hear it.
I'm talking to a dead man.
I suppose it's understandable you should feel that way, but...
Do you know what they do to men who kidnap girls in this part of the country?
Well, I suppose it depends on the reasons they kidnap the girls.
In this part of the country, we don't care about the reason. We hang them first and look for the motive later.
Do you realize we've never had a conversation of over 30 seconds that hanging didn't come up?
I imagine the threat of hanging is very much a part of your life.
You didn't hear a word I said, did you? Not a word.
Not only did I hear every word, I burned them in my memory. so that when we have a trial, if we have a trial, mine will be the testimony that will put you away.
Well, now that Quince has explained everything, I imagine you're going to go along with us on this thing?
I've always been very sympathetic to the colored people. With you, I'm going to make an exception.
The girl's gone! If she gets away, it's the end of everything. Get your horses. You go on after her. We'll be right behind you.
Hey, boss, look.
What was you doing in them bushes?
Dare you?
Oh, well, come on over here. I want to talk to you. Come on.
Sit down. Lady, for some reason, it don't seem to occur to people that bank robbers have wives and families just like everyone else. Now, it so happens I got a beautiful little spread in Missouri, and I got a pretty little wife, and I got two of the most wonderful little kiddies you ever seen, and they're just waiting for me to pull this bank job and come home to them. And I intend to do just that, no matter how many men I have to gun down and how many dumb little girls I have to bury alive. Now, you disappear once more like you just done, and you won't be amongst us no longer.
Hadn't I better go tell the mother, too, that the only place she escaped to was into the bushes?
No, you just get lost in the dark. They'll come back when they don't find her.
Can I go back to sleep now?
No, you stay right where I can keep an eye on you. We'll all go to sleep when them other two come back.
We're not going to find her in the dark. Besides, we don't even know which direction she took off in.
She'll be headed back to town.
That's what any normal girl would do. Now let's figure out what this one would do.
You always have to be insulting my girls, don't you? Now, why is that, Jason?
This is not your girl, Quince. This girl is the girl that's going to let them hang you. Then when it's all over, she's going to laugh and dance and spit all over your grave.
Oh, she talks tough.
Oh, I don't want to hear it, Quince. I really don't. Well, what are we going to do now, huh?
Get out of this part of the country.
You really mean that, Quince?
Now, there's not going to be any bank job now. When Prudy gets back to her father, he'll have the whole countryside out after us. I'll tell you another little something you might find surprising. I don't think the boss is too trustworthy either.
Why should that surprise me?
You want to know what I think we ought to do for a while?
What?
Quit looking for excitement all the time. Find ourselves a nice, quiet little town in free territory. Maybe even get ourselves a couple of jobs. Maybe go into local politics. The opportunities are all right there. All you have to do is reach out and grab them.
Well, let's get going before you change your mind.
All right, you pick the direction.
Which way's north?
That way, I guess.
Ready?
Ready.
Hold it! Get their gun. Give me that. What do you know? They rolled right into our hands.
Let's just hang them now.
Oh, no, we can't do that. Here. We gotta take them back. You know, we ain't the only ones that got claims against them boys. There's a fellas back in town that he cheated in that poker game.
I won that money fair and square.
I found your deck of cards in your saddlebags. When I shuffled them, the aces darn near jumped up and shook hands with me.
Sirs, I wonder if it would make any difference to you if you knew that I was a free man.
You shut up! You know, there's a little jail over here in the town close by. We take them over and lock them in for the night, then start back in the morning.
I want to protest at this violation of our civil rights.
He ain't got no rights, civil or otherwise. As for yours, you'd be surprised how unimportant they is when you're hanging from the end of a rope. Let's go!
I told you there was something funny about them two. And I ain't forgetting it was you two that busted them out of jail and brought them into this gang. And vouched for them.
I didn't vouch for him. He did.
How could I vouch? I don't even know what it means.
Wait a minute. I heard something.
I don't hear nothing.
Well, I did. I got ears like an eagle. Ed, get her out of sight. She opens her mouth, kill her.
Oh, yeah. Hey! Oh, wait a minute.
Relax, boys. Relax. We're out on business of the law. We don't mean you no harm.
You lawmen?
Outraged citizens, sir. Doing our duty. We don't like to trouble you like this, but, well, we got twisted around in the dark last night. We're looking for a little town near here named Bloody Whistle.
Oh, nice little place.
Now, if you just sort of point out the direction, we'll be on our way.
Boy, it sure is a comfort to know there's folks around ain't ashamed to lend the law a helping hand.
Thank you, sir.
I hear these woods is full of outlaws. You hear that?
Yeah.
Myself, I'm afraid to go away from the campfire after dark. My golly. That's a mighty fine-looking rifle you got there. Looks special made.
It is. I had it custom made in Kansas City.
Kansas City. I don't... Would you mind if I had a look at it?
Of course not.
Thank you. Get their guns, Sam. For a couple of big-time Texas outlaws, you two sure get caught a lot.
I would like to know the meaning of this. Am I to take it that you men is nothing but cheap outlaws yourself?
Cheap! Mister, you just said the word's gonna get you killed. You ever say it again. You want to kill him? It's up to you.
Well, ordinarily, I'd say yes.
Well, the last time we were in jail, Jason made a vow that if we somehow got out, he wouldn't kill anybody for 6 months.
Well, don't go breaking no vows around me. You head on out of here. Don't bother coming back. We'll be gone time you do.
Hold it. Throw down those saddlebags. What? Throw down those saddlebags, and I mean right now. I'm warning you, the boss won't take anything from a bunch of bushwhacking vigilantes who'll go around trying to make it tough on honest, hard-working criminals. Not in this territory. Right, boss?
Right!
It's men like him who won't let us make a living for our wives and kids, and always putting us in jail where we can't feed and clothe.
You're so right. If he wants that saddlebag, you give him to him. You'd like my wife and kiddies to starve, wouldn't you?
Oh, not me. I love other people's wives.
I'll bet you do. You look just like the guy I seen going out the back door when I come home from my last job.
Easy, boss. Don't let him provoke you into losing your temper.
If he's still around when I open my eye...
Go on, go on.
Well, now, why'd I let him get away? I didn't take no vow.
Your good nature is going to be your undoing, boss.
Being soft-hearted's one thing.
Well, let's get some sleep. Tomorrow, the bank job. Then home to little wifey. If I find anybody coming out the back door when I get home this time, little wifey's going to end up in that little river going by our place.
You mean we're still going after that bank even though the girl's gotten away?
Oh, the girl didn't get away, Ed! How'd a professional like me ever get mixed up with a bunch of amateurs like you? Tie her up for the rest of the night.
I'm sorry, Prudy.
Oh, you shouldn't have hit him, miss. You've hurt us. Get the rope. Get the rope, Quincy.
Whatever happened to those sweet, gentle, church-going girls? I'll swear.
see that there's justice in this life after all. We thought this money was gone forever, and here it is right in our laps.
Let's open up the saddlebags, and then I'll tell you whether there's justice or not.
Before I do, there's a little matter we ought to straighten out.
What?
You know that $500 I won in that poker game?
What about it?
Well, I was thinking, it goes without saying that the $1,000 we got from selling you to that fella, we're going to split that 50-50. But the $500 now...
Quince.
Jason, you were always a fair-minded man. And being fair-minded, you can certainly realize that in order to win the $500, I had to risk a certain amount of money.
Half of which was mine.
Yeah, I grant you that.
Quince, you know that vow you said I made about not killing anybody for 6 months?
Yeah.
Well, I'm about to break it.
Well, I can understand how you feel.
I should never have roped you off that horse. I should have just let you ride right out of my life.
Well, after all, we've been to each other.
Trouble. Ever since we started running together.
You really mean that, don't you?
I wish I didn't.
All right. Maybe we ought to split what's in these saddlebags and go our separate ways. We had a lot of good times together.
A lot of bad times, too. Like right now.
I'm gonna miss you, Jason.
Let's open up the saddlebags and get it over with.
I'll take the saddlebags.
You'll take the saddlebags.
Now! Thought you could put something over on a professional, huh? Well, there it is.
It sure is.
What is it?
It's the floor plan of the bank. See, there's the front door. And that's the back door over there. Now, right out there is where the cashier is, and that rock behind the cashier is the safe we're gonna blow.
The front door and the back door look just alike.
Well, of course they do.
I know what Sam means. It's kind of hard to tell them apart.
Look, we're gonna have a rehearsal. We're gonna do everything exactly like we're gonna do it at the bank this afternoon. Everything's gotta go like clockwork. Here, you handle this.
What do you mean, handle it, boss?
The only thing you've got to do in the whole job is walk up to the safe and blow it up.
Oh, sure. When we get to the bank.
That rock, for now, is the safe. Go blow it up.
Why?
Do I have to have a reason?
Yes.
I want to see what kind of a job you do. And I want them to get used to the noise. There. Everybody knows their parts. Get ready. Go! No, you stupid idiot! You and Ed were supposed to come in the back door! The back door!
Ain't this the back door?
That is the back door. Now come in where you're supposed to. Don't come through the bank. Walk around. Walk around. Go around. All right.
let's try it again. All right. Come on. Well, let's skip all that part. Go on, blow up the rock.
Boss, the way things have been going, I don't...
If you don't want to get yourself blowed up, go blow up the rock.
Anybody got a match?
That is the best powder man in the business?
With powder, he's great. With matches, he leaves a little to be desired.
What do I do now?
Light the fuse, shove the stuff under the rock, and then get out of here.
When this is all over, you and I are going to have ourselves a little talk. This stuff must be wet.
There's no way it could be wet. Don't you think I don't know that?
Well, all I know is...
Run for your life, boss!
Are you all right, boss?
My kiddies' names are Alice and Teddy. When I grow up, I want to be an Indian scout.
Boss, it's me, Sam.
When the Indians come, we'll draw the wagons in a circle. Just don't let them get between us and the water hole.
Well, there goes the old bank job.
Boss? Boss!
Huh?
Are you sure you're all right now?
Huh?
Are you sure you're all right now?
Why wouldn't I be?
Well, you were acting pretty crazy a few minutes ago.
What do you mean, crazy?
Well, maybe not so crazy, just...
What are we gonna do with the girl? Tie her up. What about wolves? Ain't no wolves around here.
There's bears. There's bears!
I don't know a bear tough enough to tackle her. Tie her up.
You do, and I'll tell them everything you're after.
Ain't it gonna complicate things at the bank? Us always having to yell at each other. They'll hear us all over town.
What?
Oh!
Wait, hold it. I'm sorry, Prudy. Now try not to worry. Their odds against there being any bears around here are not too bad.
All right, let's go.
Now, let's see if I get this straight. The minute Ed and Sam go behind the bank,
We draw down on the boss,
take his gun.
march him off to the sheriff.
Then when Ed and Sam come in the back door, there's nobody there to tell them what to do.
I'd give $1,000 to see the look on their faces. If I had $1,000.
Well, we turn the boss in and we'll have more than that.
I got to hand it to you, Quince. You really came up with a plan this time. A good plan. It is a good plan, isn't it, Quince?
Probably one of the best ones I ever had. I told you not to stop trusting me. Our luck is going to change. Never ever let you down.
I wish you hadn't said that.
Hey, what are you guys talking about back there? All right. Just watch it from now on.
You know, that dynamite blast must have got me, too. I couldn't hear a word he said, did you?
Of course.
Now remember, everything goes like clockwork.
What happened? White and a black guy busted out of jail. They blew open the vault and rode off with all the money.
What'd he say? A black guy and a white guy busted out of jail, blew open the vault, and rode off with all the money.
Them dirty double-crossers! I had that bank all set up. That was my bank. That was my bank job. All we had to do is walk in with our guns out, boss. I know who they were, and I know where they went. We're going after them and get that money.
Take it easy, boy.
That was my money!
He's one of the bank's biggest depositors. The loss of the money unhinged him a little.
I think it's time to get out of here, boss.
Let's go.
How come you know where them two are, boss?
Because I used to ride with the Danbys. The Danbys had a hideout in the hills around here. I was there once myself. It's around here someplace.
What's that you were saying about our luck changing?
Jason, there are good losers and there are bad losers. And you know how I hate bad losers. Especially when they haven't lost yet.
What's that supposed to mean?
You watch.
Boss? Boss? What about the girl?
What about her?
Well, we just can't run off and leave her behind.
You ain't gone soft on her or something, have you? One of the reasons my career skyrocketed the way it has is because I never let myself go soft on no girl.
Well, haven't you forgot something? The brilliant part of your plan. Having her as hostage to bargain our way out in case anything went wrong.
We'll pick her up. She's on the way. Let's go.
We didn't rob the bank, Prudy. When we got there, those other two outlaws had broken out of jail and already busted the bank.
And there's bound to be a big reward out on those other two, which combined with the price on the boss, should keep us for a long time.
Yeah, we might even be able to throw a little bit your way. I tried to get the boss to let you go, Prudy, but...
You needn't have bothered. You don't think I'd let you out of my sight at this point, do you? I'm going to be right there at the kill.
What kill?
My father and his posse can't be but 5 minutes behind you right now. And face it, boys, my father shoots to kill.
All right, let's get going.
You! And you, I'm going to see gets hung last. So you can sweat out all the others.
She means it.
I said she means it.
Well, thank you, sweetie. But don't forget, I'm a married man.
What?
Mine's up there. We'll have to storm the hillside and flush them out.
We don't know they're up there for sure, boss.
Of course they're up there.
Ain't neither one of them got brains enough to think of a new hideout.
Yeah, but we're not sure.
Now we're sure.
If you guys are really sincere about capturing the boss and turning him in, don't you think it's about time you got started?
We want those other two guys, too.
We might as well use these guys to help us get those guys.
Well, supposing that these guys and us manage to get those guys, what then?
Quince will think of something.
Yeah, I always do.
Now, here's the plan. The two of you go up the left side of the hill. You two go up the right side. I'll go up the middle. That should give them something to think about. All right, men. When I give the signal, we'll storm the hill. Oh!
Retreat! Retreat!
I didn't even have a chance to miss you.
Boss, I think we were surrounded.
How can two men surround anybody?
We're going to have a new plan, boss.
You bet we're going to have a new plan. Next time, you two are going to go up the middle.
I want to talk to you.
See you in a little bit.
Hey, wait a minute.
This thing is getting insane. I want out right now. Nobody's gonna live through another charge up that hill.
Right.
And even if we did live through it, the sheriff and his posse are getting closer every minute. And if he doesn't get us, that crazy daughter of his will.
Get back over here, you two.
I'm not gonna take that.
Did you check over those guns they gave us?
What about them?
They're not loaded.
So we go up the hill again, right?
Wrong. Come on, let's go back.
I want to know what you two was talking about.
Those two guys up there are staring straight down our throats.
So?
So the sheriff and his men are going to be here any minute.
So?
Well, so let's parley with them, make some kind of a deal.
He's right, boss. I ain't going up that hill again. All right, nobody goes up the hill. I got an idea. I'll parley with him. Hey, Luke! Cut it out, Luke. I want to talk to you.
What about? He says, what about?
Meet me halfway up the hill, I'll tell you.
No tricks? He says no tricks.
No tricks.
Aye. He says all right.
How you going to parlay with him, boss, if you can't hear him?
You two come along with me.
You're going to have to speak up. The boss is having a little ear trouble.
Look, begin to look like you ain't gonna let us come up this hill.
Right.
Huh?
Right.
We ain't gonna let you come down neither.
What's your point?
What we got is a Mexican standoff. Only we can't afford to stand off too long, because that sheriff and his posse are probably closing in about now.
What's your position?
So let's split and get out while we can.
Let me kill him.
They got us outnumbered. Besides, he's probably right about the sheriff. All right. 50-50.
Well, now, maybe we better talk about it a little more. See, there's more of us, and I did plan the whole job.
Let me kill him.
50-50's fine.
All right, we'll go up and we'll bring you down your share.
No, we will come up with you. All right, boys,
Come on, we've made a deal.
I know how to walk.
This sure takes me back. Okay. Danby boys was looting and killing and ravaging the whole countryside. You talk about terror.
Come on, now let's get on with the split.
Yeah. Hey, you just wait up. Watch where you're grabbing. You dirty. Ah!
Hey. Well, now, if you want to throw her in with a deal, I'd be willing to renegotiate.
Hey, that's not a bad... You know what, her? She'd be nothing but trouble.
He doesn't know how much trouble.
He doesn't know how much trouble.
Right.
Pretty generous of your half of the money.
What does Max care about money?
Well, you're giving away half of mine. You'd be in for a fight, amigo.
You can give away your share if you want. But my share goes with me. Now.
Move out of the way.
Now, here's the plan. You two will go up the left side. You two will go up the right side. I'll go up the middle. And that should scare the hell out of them. Oh!
All right, that's enough.
Jigs up, boys. Raise your hands.
Father!
What are you doing here?
Father, I'm turning these criminals that I captured over to you, and I hereby claim the reward for any or all of them.
How'd you get here?
You know how I got here. I was kidnapped.
When?
Last night.
Well, I sure would have raised hell if I'd have known.
Oh.
Sheriff, about the reward on these men.
Who kidnapped you?
Them two.
Well, I'll sort this all out later. Take them in.
You know something? I can hear every word everybody's saying. I got my earsight back.
Rudy, you want to press charges against these two for kidnap?
No, I think they learned their lesson.
Well, I don't.
Well, you've got to take into consideration the chances we took, Sheriff.
And I have her step in at the last minute and claim all her reward?
You busted out of my jail. I could put you away for that alone.
I think we all agree that was a mistake.
And we're very sorry.
But that doesn't have anything to do with the reward.
This does. You still want to argue?
That's a hard girl, Sheriff.
I told you if you got involved with her, you couldn't come crawling to me later for protection.
Boys, I'd like to talk to you for a minute. I got another bank all cased. You bust us out of here, I'll cut you in on it.
Right, boss.
Don't move till you hear from us.
No matter how long it takes.
Boys, I'd be out of town in a half hour if I was you.
Half hour, Jason. Miss Rudy.
My, he was good looking, wasn't he?
Which one?
You've got the black skin and I've got the brains.
Yeah, we walked into town and we're riding out. What more can you ask?
Well, what do we do now? Eat our horses?
Now, I've given that some thought. You know what we need now, Jason?
No, but I got a feeling you're going to tell me whether I want you to or not.
What we need now is some instant money. So, the next town we come to...
Careful, Quince.
No. I think we might get away with it once more. Only this time I'll be a little more careful who I say it to. You don't want to. You'd rather I thought of something else. Well, we've always got that to fall back on.